Good day, my name is Jerry Ashley Dixon, and this is the analysis of Moneyball, the 2011 biographical sports drama film starring Brad Pitt, Jonah Hill, Philip Seymour Hoffman, Robin Wright, and Chris Pratt. It is based on the account of the Oakland Athletics baseball team's 2002 season and the general manager, Billy Beane, played by Pitt, his aim to put together a competitive team with not so much as even one-third of the money to work with as most other teams. I will explore this artifact's relevance and connection to group roles, such as the functional role, as well as leadership and followership. First, I'd like to define leadership. In traditional and contemporary approaches to leadership from effective group discussions on page 177, leadership is defined as a process involving communication efforts to influence others toward group goals. According to the same text on page 180, it is stated that one of the contemporary approaches to leadership is the functional approach, which is identified as central tasks and social functions that must be carried out by leaders and group members in pursuit of group goals. These terms are exemplified by Billy Beane in the film. In video 1, the scouting team argues. Billy asks the group of scouts rhetorical questions. He is democratic in nature because he attempts to address everyone at the table to seek input. He emerges as a leader by directing the group to actually find the problem that needs to be solved. At minute 1, 52 seconds to minute 2, the scouting agent Grady Fuson states to Beane, "We're trying to solve a problem here, Billy." Beane answers back, "Not like this, you're not. You're not even looking at the problem." Fuson replies, "We're very aware of the problem." Billy Beane quickly asks, "Okay, good. What's the problem?" Billy forces this group of scouting agents to actually figure out what they're trying to accomplish in their goal. He forces them to come up with a different approach to reach their goals. Within the functions approach method used by leaders, according to the text, one of the responsibilities of an effective leader is that they stop the group from jumping to unwarranted conclusions or adopting stock answers too quickly, which is exemplified by Billy Beane. In video 2, Billy Beane meets Peter Brand. Beane is pitching his ideas on replacement players to the general manager of the Cleveland Indians, Mark Shapiro. Billy suggests, after multiple offers at minute 150 through 156, "I tell you what, I can give you Guthrie if you kick in some cash." It almost appears that Shapiro is ready to concede to the offer. There's some eye contact made between him and several others on his scouting team in the room. One of the men nods his head in approval to the offer, but Peter Brand, played by Jonah Hill, whispers something to one of the group members that is later identified as Bill. Bill in turn whispers to Shapiro a disapproving word made obvious by the shaking of his head. Shapiro immediately addresses Beane's offer at minute 2:15. "So Garcia is going to be a no." This scenario somewhat plays out again with Billy Beane making an alternative offer to still get Garcia. The general manager makes eye contact with Peter Brand and is instantly saying another no to the offer. On page 454 of New Perspectives on Followership from Northouse, it is stated, "When viewed from a less centric perspective, leadership can be seen as something that occurs among followers as well as a result of how they interpret leadership." So at first glance, one may infer that Peter Brand isn't a leader per se, as one might initially describe, but he fills more of the role of follower, all the while most definitely exhibiting leadership. The text goes on to say, "This places less emphasis on the personality of the leader and more on the follower's reactions to the leader." Shapiro listening to the whispered no from Brand definitely shows that he is following Brand's leadership in deciding who stays and who goes. At first glance, upon analyzing the second video, Billy Beane meets Peter Brand, it would appear that Peter is a no one in the hierarchy of what is taking place. He's not being addressed specifically, nor does he audibly speak up in the group. However, his disapproval of the offer made in the previous video and the apparent people in charge listening to his advice piques Billy Beane's interest as to who he is and exactly why his opinion matters. In the third video, Billy Beane meets Peter Brand number 2, we see Beane getting more familiar with Peter Brand, trying to get to the bottom of who exactly he is and why he has so much pull in the decisions being made. Billy finally gets to the bottom of this in the following exchange at minute 2 through 2:18. Peter says there's an epidemic failure within the game to understand what is really happening, and this leads people who run Major League Baseball teams to misjudge their players and mismanage their teams. He goes on at minute 2:27, giving insight to Billy Beane. People who run ball clubs that think in terms of buying players, your goal shouldn't be to buy players. Your goal should be to buy wins, and in order to buy wins, you need to buy runs. This exchange is pivotal for both Beane and Brand. In video 4, the scouting team argues. Using Peter Brand's techniques in figuring out how to build a winning team, it is presented in the scouting group which of these guys that have been presented as prospects. Grady Houston asks, "Who do you want to talk about first?" Billy answers at 32 seconds, "None of them." He goes on to share how they can recreate this prize player they've lost by combining several elements from multiple players to get to the total output from the one player that has been lost. This concept, disclosed to Bean by Brand, is the golden ticket to solve the problem at hand. According to page 454 of New Perspectives on Followership from Northhouse, Perspectives 3 states, "Followers challenge leaders. When followers have knowledge about a process or procedure of which the leader is unaware, followers become a strong asset both to the leader and to the organization." Analyzing the components of what make great leadership and the functionality behind it, as well as the role that followers play in coordinating the ultimate success of solving problems facing groups, is multifaceted and fascinating.